Hello and welcome to my scrap room. Today I'm going to be creating several videos, and the one that you're watching right now is my overall scrap room tour. I'm hoping this one will be a quick one, hopefully under 20 minutes if possible. And then if you would like to see more detail about how I store various products and what is behind some of these cupboard doors and what is in some of the drawers, then make sure that you check out my more detailed version of this scrap room tour, which will be divided into 4 parts, one for each wall. And I hope that you enjoy either this video or the whole series of videos. Thanks so much for watching. Stick around, and the video is coming up. So I'm going to try to make this first video be as short as possible, but it still might end up being pretty long. And then I'll have like a playlist of more detailed videos. So I have a Razcog right here. So first of all, this is my door where you enter the room. And I have a Razcog here that holds all of my letter stickers. So thickers, and then smaller letter stickers like tile letter stickers and that sort of thing. Then I have a Calyx unit, and I did put 4 doors on the bottom 4 cubes of the Calyx unit. So it's kind of half and half open and half closed. And this really helps because this room does double as a home office for me. So I do quite a bit of work in this room, and I need to have things a little bit more calm and tidy than they were when I was in my dedicated scrapbooking room. Preferably, I like to have everything out so that I can see and be inspired by my supplies and think of something and say, oh, right, I want to use that. But having to use this space for multiple purposes, this really works better for me for these days. So this is how I set it up. I have a unit right there that holds held these same things for many years, but some scrapbook supplies like tags and pockets and enamel dots and that sort of thing. Then I have a basket that holds my watercolor, a basket that holds my paints. This is actually empty. This is all like mixed media stuff. I keep some in progress and completed art journals and that sort of thing in there. This is work stuff, so mostly books and whatnot. Then I have my mixed media color spinner. So this is where I put all like mists and inks and things that have color to them. And this is an idea-made spinner that I got from the Showcase store, and it's not the greatest. I did buy it on a steep discount, so I don't mind that I bought it, but I certainly would not have spent full price on it because it's not the greatest. It's very wobbly and poorly made, and if you move it, it tends to fall apart. This is just a file box of work-related, like non-confidential work filing. Then I have another Razcog that holds all of my punches, and I have a Clip It Up that holds mostly stickers, and I do have them categorized. I used a tag die to cut these and then hole punched them and added a slit so that I could use it as a little file tab thingy. There's just kind of like catalogs and books and stuff in there and paperwork. And then I have another Calyx unit. This is a big 4x4 Calyx unit, and I put doors on the bottom 2 shelves of this one as well. And that was quite an endeavor. It's a lot of work to install those cupboard doors. They don't cost all that much, but they really take a long time to put in. So up here I have my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter, which types on 12x12 paper. And I have a basket that holds a collection of mini albums that I've made over the years and just some collectibles and whatnot. I have David Rose hiding in the corner over there, a little mini Lego Starbucks, some little things from some video games that I play, and some rolled up paper that I thought just looked so pretty that I wanted to display it. I'll use it someday. I did buy it for using, but it just looks so pretty rolled up and I haven't had a chance to use it yet. So this holds mostly mostly scrapbook supplies, and then I also collect miniatures, and so there's some of those in this unit as well. So across the top here, I have these little fabric baskets, and these, I don't think you can buy them anymore. They used to come with these Jetmax units. I don't have any right here, but there used to be a specific Jetmax unit that had 4 of these included, and I had several of those, so I have a bunch of these in my stash. So I thought it looked nice to have them all across the top there. Gives it a nice uniform look. I have 6x6 paper, card making stuff, and more 6x6 paper, card making stamps, scrapbooking stamps, art journal stamps, Stampin' Up stamps, and then in the back, alphabet stamps. And then here's where I keep my Allie Edwards Stories kits, which I use for scrapbooking very specific stories about myself and my family. And I keep all of those layouts in a separate album. Then this is a basket that right now, it's basically going to be my temporary basket. So whenever I have stuff in the room that hasn't found a home yet, or I haven't unpackaged or decided what to do with it, it'll go in there and then it'll be away and I don't have to look at it. Right now it's filled with some miniatures that I got from another collector. These are 3 of my favorite pull-up dolls. I used to collect pull-up dolls quite actively, but now I just kind of have the ones that I have and that's it. And then I have a little room for displaying my miniatures, and I haven't quite figured out, it's not set up the way I want it to be set up, but I just kind of stuck some stuff in it so it wasn't empty. But I really do enjoy taking photos of my miniature stuff that I've collected over the years, and it was sitting in these little bins, and I thought I should really have a way to put my favorite things out on display and maybe like change them from season to season. So that's what that box is for. It's just not current yet. And this is another basket that has mostly miniatures in it, and that's my current scrapbook. And then these cupboards hold like mostly paper in this. Well, this is my miniatures, so that's where I keep those. And then I have like different kinds of paper, art paper, and Stampin' Up cardstock and watercolor paper. And then we have cardstock, and then we have scrapbook paper. And then in the bottoms here, it's just kind of like other things. I'll go through in a little bit more detail in the other videos, but more miniatures and then kind of extra stuff there. Then on this side, on this wall, it houses my newly changed desk. So I used to have 12 Jetmax cubes holding up my desk, and you'd have to kind of go down on your hands and knees and underneath of the desk in order to access the ones that were behind, and they were kind of pointing that way so that you could pull out the drawers that way. I have always wanted to replace those with Calyx units, and I finally got a chance to do that. So I just installed these this weekend, and I really, really love having them. So I'll do a whole video about that, but that's my desk. I do have some pegboard above my desk. The rest of my doll collection is there. These are the only remaining Jetmax units in my room. At one point I must have had 50 or 60 Jetmax units in my big room down in the basement when I was really scrapbooking a lot. And now I'm down to just these 6 units. I'm very, very happy about that. I would like to replace these with more kind of solid furniture. I want my room to have more of a furniture look, but I need to find something that is not as deep as an Calyx unit, as you can see, in order to be able to access and still have my corner, which I need for storing my lights and camera stands and stuff. I need it to be the right size. So I'll just take my time finding that. But as you can see, I have another place to display some miniatures. So I think between the 2 rooms, that will be enough for me to put my favorite stuff out. This basket right now just has miniatures. That's just because that's kind of like what I'm working on right now, is getting that sorted. I have 2 drawers for cards, card bases. Nothing's in this one. I keep kits in here, projects, mark making. These are like stamps and things that you use for making just repetitive marks on projects. Lots of places here for keeping projects that are in progress or completed and that sort of thing. Keep storage bags, craft paint, borders. I will go through and show these in more detail. But basically these things are kind of stuff I don't use all that often. These are things I use more often, and these are my most used things. And I'll just give you a little peek in to see. I keep my embellishments. I'm not going to show all of them because I'll do that in a separate, like, more detailed video. I'm trying to keep this one as short as possible. So I do keep my Epson PictureMate charm right on my desk there, along with an OttLite. I have my Brother Scan and Cut, which is the cutter that I use the most, and so that's the one that I decided to keep out. I have my pegboard here that has various things that I sometimes reach for, and then of course my dolls up there. Don't mind the weird wiring system here. It's not going to stay like that forever. I'm just kind of messing around with some new ways of recording. So I'm not going to bother with figuring out the wires until I figure out which devices I'm going to be using. Then I've decided to use, this is one of those Making Memories embellishment center, I think it's called, or it might have been made by Jetmax, I can't remember. Anyhow, this is for keeping supplies on, but I mostly just keep these little collectibles on it because this is where I sit a good portion of my day, whether I'm scrapbooking or working. And so I thought it would be nice to just kind of like look up and see some whimsical fun things instead of a bunch of supplies that I can't use because I'm working. And so I thought that it was nice to kind of keep those things up there. I might rotate them over time. Like for now I have these things, and then I might change it up and put different things there. But basically it's not very easily accessible while I'm scrapbooking, so it didn't really make sense to be putting supplies on there. I do have my computer right here, which is nice. So this becomes both my work surface for scrapbooking and for any paperwork, or I sit here for my video sessions. I have two Boon storage containers. Boon is the brand, and you can get them on Amazon. And I really like them for keeping my little supplies in. Give you a little look at that. My little desktop. Then this, Then this wall houses mostly inks. I have two more Razcogs here, so this is my die cut center, so I have my Big Shot. I do have a couple of other manual die cutters that I keep downstairs because I don't need more than one in my room. I do sometimes use more than one at once, believe it or not. I sometimes have little sessions with my kids or with guests or my niece or something, and it's nice to have a couple of machines on the go if you have it. I'm very lucky to have multiple machines only because Sizzix sent me one, and I got some of them for free. So anyhow, I keep my big dies in here and my other dies down there. This is the Razcog where I keep my Project Life supplies or pocket scrapbooking supplies. So all my cards are right here. And then I have more cards, and this is where all of my die cuts are stored. So these are die cuts that are still kept by collection. If I've kept them by collection, they're in a little Ziploc bag and just put in there, and I can leaf through them. And then these are my die cuts that are sorted by color, which is most of my die cuts. And I just keep them in here with a little label that shows the color. The ones that have a black outline are chipboard. So this would be all of my pink chipboard, for example. I have two cases of that. Turquoise and blue, green, orange and yellow, and so on. Then up here we have various markers and pens that I reach for, and I keep my blocks there. This is my smaller die cutting machine. It's a Cuttle Kid, and a variety of different inks right there. I've got some large roller date stamps. I've got a stamp positioner and some foam and stamp cleaner and some other roller date stamps and other similar stamps that aren't on rollers. I have a stamping position tool from Stampin Up here, which is my current favorite. I keep my trimmer right here. It's nice and light and easy, and I can reach it quite easily with my right hand when I'm sitting right here. I have all of my inks. I'm missing one from the Regals collection, which I have to buy the next time I place an order. Those are Stampin' Up inks. I finally sold my old Stampin' Up inks and bought new ones, so I'm very, very pleased with that. I have Distress Oxides. These are all pigment inks. These are Mama Elephant, and these are Ali Edwards, and then these are all the Distress inks that I have. Keep my iPad up there. I have 2 sewing machines, one for dark ink, one for dark thread and one for light thread. This is my silhouette, which I pull down. I do keep the wires right here so that when I pull it down, I can easily access them and plug it in. That's a hot glue gun. This is anything that's large and oversized. I have a very large jelly plate, and I also have a full, like a big scrapbook sized MISTI tool as well. So that's all up there. These are various craft supplies, page protectors, pocket page protectors. I have a Book of Me project that's on the go that's up there. I have a trip to Seattle, and then I have 2 other collections up there. These are page protectors in this album, and then this is art journal supplies, another current album, and some cross stitch and embroidery supplies. So that is my room in 15 minutes. Whew, I didn't think I could do it. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see inside of all these drawers, just keep on watching because the next video should be more detailed.